Dala, 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 dala. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today I wanted to talk to you about dreams. We've gone over a few types of different dreams. Today I wanted to talk about teaching dreams. The dreams that teach us things that we didn't know before, teach us things that we can use in our awakened state, teach us things that oftentimes we don't know be useful for us. For those of you who had this type of dreams, it can take many different forms. It's always personal and different based on the individual person, based on your own perception, based on your own needs, and also based on your own sensibilities. And of course, based on your path. Let me give you some examples that I've seen throughout the years and that others have shared with me. Oftentimes in the dreams, it is an older person or an older being. It has nothing to do with how the persons look, how the being looks, but it has more to do with the feeling that you have, that inside knowledge. You will automatically know that this is a familiar person, that this person or this being is there for the purpose of teaching you, not harming you, not causing you any distress or anything like that. You may even feel strangely familiar with this person. You may even feel some type of friendship. You may even feel that this person has some type of authority. Of course, it may even be one of your own ancestors, or the being can have the shape and form of your ancestor, familiar faces if you like. But essentially, it is somebody who comes into your dreams or who reach out to you in your dreams in order to teach you something. The array of subject is vast and numerous. It could be all about teaching you about herbs in your area, teaching you about herbs that you will come across in a distant future, teaching you about herbs that you've come across in the past, and provided you in the understanding and the wisdom about what the herb does, how to use it, how to find it, etc., etc. It could be also teaching you about music, teaching you about any form or shape of arts, drawing, painting, explaining to you maybe some of the understanding beyond the art and the expression, why music is important, why art is important, why this can be important. Different subjects and themes can be used in order to teach you that. One thing to remember, and this may be important for many of you because sometimes I get those comments, and if any of you are teachers, you will understand where I'm coming from. You have the common phrase that says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I've had experiences myself, whether it is a teacher that appears in my dreams or a teacher that appears in my physical reality. Someone I come across and that I'm able to learn something that I didn't know before. Someone that may be walking with me on my path for a little bit, or someone that crosses path with me with whom I'm able to exchange. I've noticed sometimes that for a lot of people, being a student is kind of an easy position. For me personally, I've been the student my whole life. I learned from my mothers, I learned from my family when I was a child. Then I started going to school. I learned from teachers at school and some teachers outside of school. I learned from my dreams. I learned from my grandmother. I learned at any opportunity that I have to learn. And I embrace the knowledge that was offered for me. I embrace information. Whether it was directly useful for myself or useful for somebody I will come across later or just useful to others. I had this understanding, which is very important, that the teachers is the one that is sharing the knowledge with you. So many times I've seen students telling the teacher what the teachers will teach. I find it very interesting, not to say sometimes disrespectful. It's like coming into an advanced math class, applied mathematics, let's say, and you come from calculus 101, And you are telling the teacher what the teacher should tell you? What the teachers will teach you? No, beloved. Have a seat. Open your ears. Listen and be ready to learn. That is what being a student is all about. Even before you raise your hand or rush to the comment section to burst out the questions you have, listen first to what is being said. Put it through, spend some time with it. Use your own discernment. And you will see that half of the question that you have will just dissipate away. It doesn't take that much time. It doesn't take that much energy. It's a question of taming yourself, and it's a question of remembering what hat you are wearing at the moment. Some of us sometimes are teachers. We teach others what we know. We share our experiences. We try to the best of our knowledge to guide others who come to us for guidance. However, sometimes we are also students continuing to learn ourselves. And we know when it is time you entering the space of another teacher, when it's a time for you to just sit down and learn. But you can learn if you are also talking. You have to close your mouth, you have to open your ears, and you have to be willing to get an understanding and drink at the well of your teacher. So this is very important because even I've received letters of people saying, I want you to teach me exactly this. And I say, no, I don't do those type of arts. Or I don't think you are ready to even learn that. And of course, the person will get upset. They will have all kind of words or they will just disappear. And that's okay. But who are you to tell the teacher what the teacher is supposed to teach? Remember, people who are teachers, oftentimes, many people want to be teachers. But the truth is, it is not your willingness to be a teacher, it is the teaching that chooses you. You become a teacher over time against your own self. Oftentimes you realize that you've learned things and you've experienced things you thought were for your own knowledge, for your own personal growth that you may want to have kept, that you may want to keep to yourself. Maybe share with a few close friends and your family. And then you realize people come to you for those specific nuggets. This is the element that brings them towards you. And you realize that despite yourself, despite your need maybe to want to be in the background, to be behind the scenes, you are brought in front of an audience, in front of many people who ask you questions and to whom you realize that the experiences you've had, the knowledge that you've acquired, the wisdom that you've learned through your own experiences, through your own struggles, and to your own achievements as well, were not just meant for you, but were also so you could be in a position to share them with others. And that position, you never make it on your own. It is created because of the audience that comes to you. So this is why it's so important that you are respectful of the teacher. As teachers, we deal with many, many things. For those of you who are teachers as well and who may be on social media, for example, or using the internet, you see that it comes with a lot of responsibilities, a lot of privileges, but it also comes with a lot of challenges. Sometimes the arrogant student, the arrogant bystander, or troll that you have to deal with. It comes sometimes also with a lot of misunderstanding. People who are not listening to what you're saying, but who will just want to hear what they want to hear. So not everybody is suited to be a teacher, and that's a good thing. Not all of us are meant to go around and teach. However, all parents are teachers in some ways. As a brother or a sister, you may be a teacher as well. Sometimes you are called to become a teacher when your parents failed you as parents. You are called to, if you are the eldest of children and your parents are irresponsible or they are in a situation or in a position where they cannot take care of you, oftentimes, even as a child, you may be called to become a teacher to yourself and to your other siblings. And because of that position, because of the responsibility, you have to also set boundaries and to help others understand that you can only teach what you know or have to teach. Nothing more, but nothing less. So within that space, you have to be also able to tell the student to sit down, to be quiet, and to listen. You also have to be able to tell the student who doesn't want to learn that they may be better off elsewhere or learning from somebody else. And that's okay too. Your time is valuable, and there are way too many people that may need your assistance for you to dwell or debate with someone who doesn't want to learn what you have to offer. So to go back to the dream that teaches, when this teacher shows up, it goes back to the same respect that you have to have for this teacher. Teacher is not there for you to ask all of the questions in the world or to ask them to teach you something specific, unless they actually ask you for your input, unless they actually ask you what you would prefer them to teach you. When this opportunity is presented to you, then voice what you have in your heart and, voice your preference. But it could be highly disrespectful for you to start asking specific things to be taught. And that may be also a sign. How would you know that this person is supposed to teach you this? Just by asking random people on the street? In the context of the dream, you're not at a university. There's no sign saying, oh, go here, it's mathematics. Go there, that's spirituality. Go here, it's going to be herbs. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. You have no indication. So the only way for you to find out is for you to be quiet and just listen. Be quiet and listen. I think too many people have difficulties or are challenged by just being quiet. Take a moment to just listen. Stop talking all the time. Sometimes I receive messages of people saying, where are you? What's going on? It's like, I have my own life and I don't need to post videos every day. Part of the process of me being here as well is also me having my own experiences, continuing to having my own experiences so I can come back and share some of them with you. And so it also requires for me to be quiet. I can't deal with all of the subjects all the time. Sometimes there's also a time and a place for everything. When you're in school, when you're learning, you are a student, act like act like a student. You can't be in the class of a teacher and also want to be the teacher and the student at the same time. That's not going to work. So, those of you who had those dreams, the teaching dreams, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The being shows up. It could be in a different setting or a familiar one. And the person may tell you to pull up a chair. You may be sitting in a beautiful scenery, far away in nature, in the forest, over the sea, on the beach. Could be anywhere in the world. It could even be in places you've never seen before. Places that are out of this world. Because anything is possible in the realm of dreams. And then the being proceeds to explain something to you. Because the teaching is not always something formal. It's not always about explaining to you something about a plant, the remedies, the properties, and what have you. Sometimes the teaching may be a story. A long forgotten story. A story about beings far away. But it's always a story that has a moral, that has a lesson. The lesson may be for you to just listen to it, to just listen to the experience that has been shared, and see if it has any resonance with the path and the experience you have in your awakened state. so that you may be foretold what to do in a specific situation. It may also simply be a story that comes to illustrate a point, that comes to warn you, that comes to lift you up after a very difficult moment, that comes to remotivate you, that comes to reinstill in you the life forces that have always been there. So the lessons can be many and the subjects are limitless. But what is key in all what I've said about these dreams, the teaching dreams, is that this being comes to you. You don't go to sleep looking for one. You don't provoke anything. This is what I said. This video is much more meant for those who have already had those type of dreams, rather than people who are seeking to provoke them. As you may know on my channel, I don't do with provocation. The gifts that you do have are the one that you should have. The gift that you do not have are the one that you shouldn't have, at least at this time. So it's not because you may not have had a teaching dream yet, or that you may not remember any teaching dreams that you've had. It doesn't make you less than a human being. It doesn't make you less worthy, or less important, or less valuable as a human being. It may also simply mean that may not be a lesson that you need to be taught. It may also be that this hasn't happened to you yet. It may not yet be the time for it. So teaching dreams are an amazing opportunity. And of course, in order for you to retain the lesson and to learn the lesson, you have to be able to remember your dreams. Sometimes you may not remember in your awakened state. There have been people who have had many teaching dreams but do not necessarily remember all of the details of them. But oftentimes, when you meet this familiar being over and over again, in this familiar space or spaces, there your memory is highlighted and broadened and full and whole. So don't really worry about the mechanics of it. Remember, whatever you need, you will remember at the time most opportune. Meaning, if you don't remember it now, it may just be that it is not the time for you to remember. Dreams are a world that is accessible to all of us. I've talked about the importance of just making sure you are eating well, taking care of your physical and mental state, and making your focus and some of your attention to your dreams, paying attention to your dreams, as we say, so that some of those lessons that are being taught to you within your dreams, that you can use that not to make sure you repeat those mistakes in your awakened state. So for those of you who are teaching dreams, please let me know what you think about this in the comment section. For those of you who haven't had those yet, maybe you know someone who has, maybe you may be curious about it. So let me know what you think about teaching dreams. It's probably something you've heard of before, or that you've experienced yourself. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you in the next video.